So bear with me. And I'm also not sure, we got a minute or two here. I'm also not certain when we know everybody's online.
I think the only tower we're missing is Johnny's.
My understanding is Brad McKittrick's on the board. I don't see him.
Yeah, and I'm on the board for the towers.
Yeah. He's the chairperson of the Public Safety Committee. I think he's on it.
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to call his cell and wake him up. I know Brad, I'm allowed to say that.
So I'm going to email Councilman McKittrick.
Is anybody here for the Director of Public Service? I don't know if Francia is participating or not.
I just sent Brad a text and tried calling him. I didn't get an answer.
I also sent him an email with a new copy of the link for the meeting.
Oh, I will try to call you Francia Lash. Hey, Jackie, can you send Francie Lash the link? He's having trouble getting on,
Okay,
or I can. Go ahead.
do you have his email handy?
Well, it's E Lash. Did it come up? Did you find it? Were you able to send it, Jackie?
Yes,
Okay.
I apologize. I should have carboned you on it.
Maybe McKittrick's having the same problem. There he is. I have his, well, I think someone said they already tried to call him. I have his number. Okay, I just talked to him on the phone. He had a personal emergency regarding a family member. He's not at home. So I guess we'll proceed without Brad McKittrick. Is everybody fine with that? Okay, with that said, I'll call to order the August 6th meeting of the Akron Police Tow Review Board. I'm going to serve as the chairperson today in the absence of Rebecca Trudeau. I think all board members are here except Mr. McKittrick. So first order of business is approval of the minutes from the June 11th, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approval of the prior meeting's minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. The prior minutes are approved. Let me turn my volume up here. According to the agenda, there is no old business for today's meeting, so we'll move into new business, which my understanding is that's to consider the qualifications submitted by the various towing companies for assignment to a tow district, and then ultimately make a recommendation to council regarding each district. I was brought up to speed that 6 tow companies submitted their qualifications. That is Bowers, Kinney's, Johnny's, Team Towing, Miller's, and Stan's. The first order of business before we move into that discussion is 5 of those 6 timely submitted their qualifications by the July 5th deadline. And I'm informed that Bowers submitted their qualifications late. So the first matter of business is board approval to accept and consider Bowers' untimely submission. Does anybody have any comment on that? Anybody want to weigh in on it?
I will.
I
Go
talked to,
ahead.
oh, sorry. I talked to Bowers on the phone. They said they never received the email about submitting the application for the contract with the city.
Okay,
So I talked to Captain McCosey and he advised me to let Bowers know to just turn in the application, even though it's a couple days late.
okay. If there's no more comments, I'll make a motion then to accept and consider Bowers' submission and their qualifications. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Bowers' submissions and qualifications will be considered by the board. I'm gonna open the floor for discussion. I mean, I'm pinch hitting for the chairperson, but I have some idea of what our task is. It's ultimately to make recommendations to council regarding each district. Wilson's, Greg's, and Bondurant, who are listed in the current ordinance, did not submit qualifications, so. My understanding is Greg's and Bondurant are no longer in operation.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, Bondurant had District 5A and Team Towing had District 5B. One of the solutions to the Bondurant situation is for Team Towing to take over all of District 5, I'm told. Does anybody have any comment or opinion with regard to that particular matter? As far as District 2A and 2B go, Kinney submitted their qualifications, but Wilson's didn't submit any. I don't know what everybody's thought is about combining District 2 and assigning it to Kinney's. That's one solution to that situation.
Well, Bowers and Wilson's are all the same place.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, what is the advantage to your proposal?
I don't know. I'm just reading from some notes from Rebecca, who brought me up to speed on the matter. Who handles District 2A right now? Bowers and Wilson's?
Well, Wilson's was split in half when Kenny's and Team came on. So Bowers still does half of Wilson's. And then Kenny's has the other half.
Well, I'm obviously late to the game and any discussion on this. So I'll open the floor for proposals. I guess the third issue is Greg's Towing is no longer in operation, so nobody's assigned to District 3. That's my understanding. Is that correct?
Correct. As far as I know.
Yeah, it's just running on like a rotation or whatever they got going on right now.
Right.
And I believe the last time I spoke to McKittrick, his thought was he was wanting to use what the fire departments are using and base the areas off of where everybody's locations are and then kind of build off of that. So it'll give everybody a quicker response time and make things a little more even across the board and closer to where everybody's at.
Yeah, when I was just on the phone with McKittrick, it was a last minute emergency. I suggested to him that if he had some strong recommendations or opinions on the matter and he's unable to participate today, I guess, I told him we could always take time on the matter and place it on the agenda of the next meeting. Because I think he has some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, is there any apprehension at this moment to an opposition of that proposal? Taking time?
Taking time and placing it on the next meeting's agenda?
Correct.
Which would have been scheduled for next month.
Is that when that's when the next meeting is?
Yeah, I think that's what it was originally scheduled. This was kind of an emergency meeting.
Hmm.
Can I ask a question? Carol from team.
Certainly.
Okay, so you made a suggestion as far as team being able to do all of 5. Could that be something that we could start immediately?
Who's handling 5A right now?
Well, it's just kind of random. It's on a rotation.
Oh. Well, I think,
As I said, and I've discussed this with Brad multiple times, the way this is sectioned out, there's oftentimes where there's an accident just within a stone's throw of our facility here, but we're not on the rotation. So someone else is called, from quite a distance away. So getting team towing on all of Ward 5 really is just a call into the dispatch, the system, because it's easily changed.
well, I don't know if the towing review board has the authority to make that change now. I could ultimately make that recommendation to council probably.
Yeah, it is council that would has the authority to initiate that, I guess.
Right.
Brad was in support of that. So and I know he goes in for surgery here pretty soon. So I was hoping to get that approved, or at least something that they could vote on and maybe get that started as soon as possible.
Mr. Chair, I motion for time.
It sounds like there's a lot of moving parts to this, including the ones we just spoke about. The fact that unfortunately Mr. McKittrick had an emergency and couldn't participate today, I think he's probably a necessary participant in a further discussion before we make one final recommendation to council. So I'll second that motion to take time on this and set it over for a discussion and consideration at the next towing review board meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed to taking time and setting it over? Hearing none, this particular matter of business will be on next meeting's agenda, which I understand is next month. I don't have the date of that meeting in front of me. The next item on the agenda are complaints, and I see there are none. I wish I had in front of me the date and time of next month's meeting, but I don't.
Did Terry have that by chance? My guess is it was on the 10th, but
Yeah, it's usually the second Tuesday of every quarter.
Okay. Well, then we're going to establish the next meeting of the Akron Police Tow Review Board Committee will be September 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Is there any other matters coming before the review board today? If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment at this time, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you, everybody. Sorry for the confusion. I hope everything's well with Brad, but we'll set it over. Have a good afternoon.